Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Or good evening to our wonderful listeners.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Max, and we are your hosts of Queer the Roster.
Strap on.
And strap in.
So, in today's episode, we shall be discussing red flags and icks. So first of all, what's the difference between a red flag and an ick?
I feel like icks are an immediate reaction. Mm-hmm. They're like such a sometimes even physical feeling that's like,
goosebumps, shivers.
Yeah, anything, that pit in your stomach kind of thing. I feel like with red flags, you can be a bit colorblind to them, and it's something that you can sort of realize later down the line. Like icks, they hit you straight away, whereas red flags might not. They might creep up on you and be like, oh, that is a red flag. Or upon reflection, like in a lot of my past relationships, you look back and go, that they were just red all over.
Red flags are a warning sign. It's in the name, red being danger. Stay away, stay clear.
Yeah.
And I think icks are personal triggers, maybe reflecting your real feelings about them.
Yeah, maybe red flags are a little bit more universal, and they can be applied to like multiple people, or just like, that's a red flag, and anyone who does that, it's a red flag, whereas it can be very person specific.
Yeah, because red flags can maybe be something about the person's personality, whereas an ick is something that they do.
Yeah.
More physical.
With red flags, I think you can learn from them. Mm-hmm. And things that you've experienced in the past, you see those sort of same patterns repeating. You might see a different person behaving in the same way and sort of know what it's going to lead to. But with an ick, it can just come out of nowhere. And you can be completely blindsided by it.
And someone can give you the ick for a situation that another person may not.
Yeah, like there was a guy who I was speaking to for a while, and we had, great connection, great chat, really thought it was going to go somewhere. And then I didn't see him for a little bit, and then when we did see each other, he gave me this hug. And it's just the way that he hugged me. He sort of like put his arms around me and lifted me up and sort of
lifted all 6 foot of you up in the air.
And it just, I don't know, it just like really, that was it. It was gone. All the feelings were gone.
That's the difference then, because that's not a red flag.
That's not a red flag.
That's an ick. Because I feel like if someone lifted me up and cuddled me, I'd be like, la 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 la, this is amazing.
Yeah, but there's one thing to be made to feel all like cute and petite, but it felt like, I don't know, it's like when you've not seen your little kid cousin for a while, and they run up to you at the family gathering, and you give them a hug. It felt like that, and I just
too familiar.
I don't know. No, that was it. Done.
Sometimes you can't predict the ick.
No, that's the worst thing about it. I feel like red flags, you can very much say that's a red flag, and I suppose you can with some icks, but
yeah,
until someone does something that gives you the ick, you might not even know that that's going to give you the ick. So to you, tell me, what are some obvious red flags?
I mean, there's some stereotype red flags. For example, DJs. But I guess...
How's your DJing going?
I mean, have you ever dated a DJ?
What do you mean by dating?
Why?
I'd say I've had like flings
with DJs
where they've got their decks out and they've showed me the mix, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Or other times where I'd be like, the BPM isn't matching.
BPM of what?
What do you mean?
BPM. Oh, like you're listening and you're like, oh, I thought this was like an innuendo of like the BPM in bed doesn't match the BPM they're playing on the speakers. If you're a DJ and you want to, go up with a different person every night because you're in these clubs here, there, and everywhere.
Good for you.
Go you, but be honest about it when you've got Sarah on the end of your phone.
Not Sarah.
Spiraling. Why not Sarah?
I just don't know. I just like poor Sarah's in her bedroom crying,
pulling her hair out
because this DJ who's great on the decks and great with his fingers is like,
not messaged her back in 2 days.
Yeah, giving her the best time of her life and not messaged her back because he's now with Claire.
Exactly.
Or next week he'll be with Andy. I don't know.
How about you? Any red flags?
I think when your friends, the people who are closest to you that care about you, tell you that it's a red flag or that there's an issue, listen to them, because they're the people that want the best for you.
And notice patterns in your relationships.
Absolutely. If you start to recognize something that's happened before with someone else start to happen again, trust your gut, trust your intuition. Another big one is really overtly talking about their exes. Because don't get me wrong, we all have a history, we all have a past, you know, things might come up in conversation like you did something with them or you went this place, you know, something like that. But when they're like incessantly talking about them, that's a really big red flag. And also when they are really trying to get across that they are the victim, like incessantly, like it was all their fault, it was everything them, you know, kind of thing. That's not right.
Especially early dates as well.
Yeah, oh my God, especially in those first like few dates.
I understand talking about your past because
Yeah.
you can, you know, speak about what you expect from love, what you expect from relationships, your love languages. But like you say, talking about their ex as the demon or...
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a date where someone brought up their ex and then got really, really sad. I was like, oh God, why are we on a date?
What a mood kill, yeah.
I also think a red flag is not opening up. I mean, like I say, I'm a chatterbox, so I expect someone to be quite open and honest with me.
Yeah, and I can understand, like we said in the last episode, being a bit nervous or not being able to talk about something, but how are you supposed to get to know someone if they don't talk about themselves, if they don't give you a little insight into who they are? Because what if they want to try and keep up a persona, you know, if they're trying to be someone that they're not, that's only going to last so long before it becomes, oh, that was all a lie. And then you just feel like shit because it's over and I've got to start all again.
Yeah, it really, when you hit rock bottom with thinking that something's going to last the length of time.
And then it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's so exhausting.
My flatmate literally said to me yesterday, I've noticed with you that you just kind of go all or nothing with anyone that you date.
That's not a bad thing, though.
I wouldn't say that's a red flag or anything either.
I wouldn't say it's a red flag.
You know, I find attraction to someone and God forbid I just like to fantasize or, you know,
Yeah.
I just get really,
You fall
really
down the rabbit hole a little bit.
Yeah. And, you know, that's why you need to have things going outside. You need to have things that are going on outside of your dating life so that if things don't go well, then you can fall back onto the passions that you have.
Oh, absolutely. And I've been in those stages of life where my relationships or the people I'm seeing have been like the big thing or the only thing. And when they've ended, I felt like I'm left with absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So it's so important to really continue to have that sense of self and that individuality, even though you're dating other people, because at the end of the day, like you are still you, and whatever relationship you're in, you still are an individual as yourself, and you should never lose that.
Another funny red flag I have, very specific to Manchester's Northern Quarter. If you wear a grand's worth of gorp core, but the only exercise you do is walking to the pub. I own climbing shoes, but I've climbed twice a year.
Yeah, because they're just wearing like Arc'teryx, everything Gore-Tex, and, you know,
it's expensive.
they don't want to leave the house on a rainy day.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're built for that. You're literally built for that.
You could hike up Ben Nevis.
Literally. Yeah, I love a good hike. On a side note, love a good hike. You ever done a hiking date?
No.
I've done a hiking date.
I went camping before with my ex. That was nice.
On a date?
Oh,
you were together? Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, who's going to go...
I was going to say, Jesus.
On a hike on a first date? That sounds a bit scary.
No, I went on a hike on, I want to say, maybe a third or fourth date. And we went and had like a really nice walk. I can't remember where it was. I want to say it was up Yorkshire way, maybe like an hour away from Manchester.
Up Yorkshire way.
And we had a really nice walk around this sort of reservoir kind of thing. And then he was asking me to like sneak off the path into the woods with him.
What is it with you and guys just wanting to get in there straight away?
This honestly, like...
Cake too
and
big,
I was like,
juicy.
no, this is the middle of the woods. There's people walking around and I'm wearing like a bright red jacket that sticks out like a sore thumb in a pine forest. So, yeah, and then he was also giving me the vibes that he was wanting something a lot more serious, and at that point I wasn't. So, you know, that's when it started to go downhill.
someone asked for my number over the bar and they said, well, what are you doing after shift? And I said, oh, nothing. So we go just for a walk around the canal, and then they're sat there and they literally tell me they love me on like, I haven't told you this, because it was one day and they said, oh yeah, let's go get lunch the next day. And then I didn't hear from them, of course, because they were clearly drunk, maybe on some other substances. But I was just like, oh, I know they don't mean that they love me, but they clearly have infatuation for me, because who wouldn't? I'm just that delusional that.
I mean, if someone told me that the first time that they met me, that's a little bit too heavy. There's the difference between getting a very generic comment and getting something that's like really unique and specific to you. Someone that pays attention, someone that has noticed something that not everybody notices.
Yeah.
Whereas if, you know, it's just the typical, oh, you're the most beautiful person I've ever seen.
I've been attracted to someone this much before.
Yeah, you know, it's...
Wow.
Don't get me wrong, in those moments, especially if you've not heard them as much as you would like to, they can work on you. But it is also about the difference between this is about you, or this is, you know, I want to control you. I want to feel like I own you.
Because then when they rip that away, then your nervous system is left panicked.
Yep.
And you're kind of scraping around on the floor.
I've had those late night
breadcrumbing.
spirals and all that kind of shit where it's been amazing and it's going to go somewhere and then suddenly it's not.
Ghosted.
Oh, too many times. But also I'm not going to act like I'm some saint. I've also been on the other side.
You've ghosted.
I've ghosted, yeah. I think that comes more from in the past not being able to be honest with people. And I'd like to think that I'm a lot better at it now than just saying, look, it's not working out, or this isn't for me. Because it's horrible to have to send a message like that. But it's also worse to lie about it and to lead someone on. So, you know, I'd rather upset someone with honesty than lead them on to shield them from some kind of pain that they're going to feel anyway.
On a dating app, you know, you've got 6 photos to choose from. If half the photos, they've got their face covered, like phones covering their face in a mirror selfie, had balaclavas and just eyes showing before. Yeah,
another one for me that's not far off that is when all their photos, or at the worst, the first photo is a group photo. And you
it's never the person you want it to be.
It's never the hot one. And as soon as I see that first photo and it's a group of people, I'm like, you know, the only time I think it's justified is if, like, I'm swiping on guys and it's him with all his girls. Yeah. Because then you know who it is straight away.
Or when they colour out everyone else's face.
Oh, God, yeah. Like, they're erased from the life. Yeah.
Just colour out the faces. This is me. I have friends.
Do you know my biggest ick when it comes to photos is... Do you know when people are getting photos, their friends taking photos of you, and they, like, put their hand out to grab the phone to stop them?
Who's that?
Like, oh. Wait. And the thing is, I'm like, you know, the call's coming from inside the house. Like, years ago, it would have been something that I would have done because it was cool and trendy, but I see it and, it goes through me.
So you've just kind of said your biggest ick. Mm-hmm. What are your other icks?
I think people who lie about their height is a really big... I think it's kind of a red flag as well, but catching someone out on it, that's the ick. You know, when someone's like, I'm 5'10", because I'm 6'1", which is tall, and it's not like extortionately tall, but it's tall. And when someone's like, I'm 5'10", and we get there and they're half my height, I'm like, who are you lying to? I don't care about a short king. Love a short king.
Love short kings.
But yeah, no, don't do that. Because I see you in person and you're not who I thought you were. That's the ick.
You're setting up the relationship for a lie.
Do you know what is like destroys part of my soul when I see it?
Oh no.
Is people who shadow box at the gym. And it's, you know, if they're actually if they're actually on some boxing equipment, it works in the context. But when you've just done a bench press and you're getting up and shadow boxing in the mirror and groaning.
Yeah, it's funny when you're doing it ironically as like a playful thing, but if you're being
I've never
serious,
done it as a playful thing, have you?
No, but I've been talking to someone in there as I'm like talking, they're like kind of go like this, like to be funny.
Yeah, but that's not like in the gym.
Okay, so
Like,
setting the scene in the gym,
In the
just
gym,
done
yeah, they've
bench
just done
press.
bench press, dumbbells, whatnot.
looking in the mirror, shadow boxing.
Yeah. Skinny jeans.
No, I had that one written down. Women, skinny jeans, low waisted, high waisted, veering on 2010s fashion.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but on men.
Even worse, ripped skinny jeans.
Yeah,
And I'm
not
talking
even
like
women can do that.
skin tight, not slim jeans, because in the right outfit it can work, but like skin tight, ripped jeans, burn.
I think that can be a generalized ick that everyone agrees on, I hope.
Yeah. Do you know what does also like give me the ick a bit? Is when people who post night out pics on Vinted wearing the clothes.
Oh, I don't know.
Just like, it's fair enough to like put the clothes on, show how it fits and that, but I'm talking like cunty pose like thing on Vinted.
I think
like,
that kind of eats. I
no,
can't lie. I disagree with you.
No, I'm not
like,
about
yes,
that.
I will buy that outfit because I know it looks good.
Yeah, I don't know. Just something about it just doesn't work right for me. I'm not into
What
it.
are you looking at clothes and you see a photo like that? I'm not getting those.
No,
jeans
because it's like
now.
I'll click. It's a nice shirt or whatever, and you know they've like laid it on the floor, and I'm like, oh cool, swipe, and they're like, you know, I'm just taken
Fuck it.
completely by surprise by it. This is just such a random one that I noticed it however long ago. But do you know, like when people ride a bike, or more specifically men, and they like proper lean forward on it, they're just like, I don't know what it is. It just like really gives me the ick when they're like really like lean forward on a bike. I don't know what it is. What are some of your icks?
Ooh, I think you already said one of my biggest ones, skinny jeans. I also think long nails on men.
How long are we talking? Because I feel like mine are quite long at the minute.
Yeah, I don't
But I take care of mine.
mind that, but
Do them professionally.
you know, I've sometimes like a really long nails or
What, like a little coke nail on the
yeah,
pinky?
or ungroomed nails.
Yeah, when they're dirty.
Ungroomed beard, bad breath.
Oh, that's awful.
Normally, if someone has bad breath, I'll have a chewing gum and then just say,
Oh,
"You
that's
want
the
to?"
classic way to go about it, isn't it?
But I don't think I've ever. Oh no, bad posture really gets. You know, like you'll just be chatting and like on the sofa or something, and they go up and they look like Gollum from The Hobbit, just like this. You know, bad posture I think is probably one of my biggest ones.
Yeah, a nice back arch. How you doing, love? You having a nice time?
Give you a kiss. Oh God, definitely giving everyone the ick now.
Speaking of that, have you ever given anyone the ick?
Probably. I haven't been told I've given anyone the ick, but I think I said on the last episode I'm quite an anxious person in awkward silences or in silence full stop, especially if I'm getting to know someone. And also I'm very animated, so sometimes I'll just whip out one of these. I'll just go like that. When I'm awkward or nervous, I think I've done it before. I'll probably do like a weird like ism, like shrug my shoulders like this or say a story and I don't know, I just feel like maybe I'm just a little bit icky. I've never been told though.
Thank God you've never been told, because that would never leave me.
Because I think people realise it's part of my personality. It's part of being hot and weird.
Yeah, great combo, by the way.
Yeah.
Hot and weird. That is the...
But one of these, like that.
Yeah, that would do it for me.
But then my soulmate will love that, you know? Because it's just who I am. I'm giving myself the ick. Talking.
Hi, can I get you a drink? Do you want red wine?
I really want to kiss those lips. I can't even see them. My laugh could probably give someone the ick as well.
Yeah, I can hear it from like 3 streets away.
Honestly, trying to be mysterious, but my laugh can be heard over all 7 continents.
The person you're on the last date with can hear you on your next date.
Have you ever given anyone the ick?
I've had people ghost me after a date, which has made me think, what have I done? What have I said? Oh no, there was,
Oh no.
this is really bad. So like all the hottest girlies out there, I'm lactose intolerant, and I was seeing this guy for a little while, and we were at his, and nothing had happened between us at this point, nor did it ever happen. And, you know, I was holding in my farts because I'd had a lot of dairy, a lot of cheese, or, you know, forgotten to have a lactase tablet.
It's so bad if you hold them in, though. They
And
just
I kept
come out
holding it
lethal.
in. And then, you know, I can't remember, like, how he came to know that I was holding them in, but he was like, it's fine, just do it. And it was just, like, pure sewage. It was, like, lethal gas attack, biological warfare level fart. And it was disgusting. And he had a really small bedroom. So it was just, like, trapped in there. And I think, yeah, it might have been after that, actually, that he sort of stopped replying to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Which I can't even blame him.
No, but it's biological. I'm quite a stinky girl.
Yeah.
But we've got to balance the hotness somehow. Otherwise, we've got to balance the sex appeal with the stink. Have you ever told someone that they've given you the ick? Because, you know, we're sat here saying, never been told I've given them the ick, but I don't think anyone tells each other that when the ick has been laid. Yeah,
that's true. I haven't. That's been
offensive?
those instances where I've just ghosted them. Because I don't want to. You don't want to tell someone that. Yeah. That like ruins their day, week,
personality.
You know.
When did the ick come around? When did this whole term come around?
I don't know. It's within the last good few years now. Getting the ick. I remember. I think we used to say it at high school.
Because you think I don't think our grandparents would have got the ick.
Well, no, because they just sort of like. You know, grandmas were stalked until they were forced to marry, and that was a happy life together.
But I think it goes back to my point still of if you truly like the person so much, you won't get the ick.
Yeah, that's so true. It gets to the point where you like someone or love someone so much that it doesn't matter what they do, you just laugh about it.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Everybody has those days. Everybody has icks. This is the outcome of this, you know. Everybody has icks, and that's okay. But if you get the ick, it is what it is.
Can you survive the ick? If you like them enough.
Yeah. But I think once that deer's been shot, it needs putting down.
Oof. Can you not amputate it?
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes the wounds are too great.
Depends how bad of an ick it is.
This is really bad. But there was a guy who I was seeing, and we had an amazing first date. It was another time I went round to his flat, and I get there, and he was just a bit like under the weather, he said, and I found out later he was on a come down, and he just wants to cuddle. Which I'm a bit like... Second date, just wants to cuddle in bed and do nothing else. Which I'm like, I don't know you well enough to do this. As he's sort of in his bed, he like leans up to turn a little lamp on by the desk. And then when he turns the light on, the way that the light just shines through his hair and just shows the full silhouette of his scalp. It was just suddenly a completely different person that I had no attraction to.
God's light shone on his head.
It did, and it showed me the truth. When you look back on the way you behave sometimes, I don't know about you, I do get a bit embarrassed.
I've definitely been clingy in the past and begged for attention. That's a bit icky.
Yeah, that's a bit like, you shouldn't be begging for attention. Love me. Choose me.
Drifting back quickly to the rouge flags, red flags, rojo.
I mean, speaking of red, today's dress code is...
red flag realness. You start today.
Okay. I've got some trainers that I got from Vinted that are black and red. I've got some red Dickies on, which I absolutely love. A nice fleece, which is black and red from Vinted. And that's my outfit of the day. Simple.
I've kind of gone with black and red as well. Black shoes, black trousers. I've got a skirt that's actually a vest that I made into a skirt. Tommy Hilfiger jumper that's red. Yeah, we're wearing red as warning signs that you shouldn't be colourblind towards...
I thought you were going to say you shouldn't date us.
No, you should.
Do you think that you can look past red flags?
I think if it's a superficial red flag, like someone being a DJ, like somebody not showing their face on a dating app, I think you can. If it's something about their characteristics, like they're controlling, they're lying, they're breadcrumbing you, leave. Get out while you still can.
Absolutely, yeah. But then it's also so easy to become colourblind to these red flags, especially when feelings get involved. Yeah. And it's, love is blind. It's the classic saying. And you and I have both been there. We've both seen each other in those positions where, you will have seen things in my partners that I won't have seen, and I will have seen things in your partners that you won't have seen.
Yeah.
And there have been instances where we've tried to tell each other these things, and we've both been like, no, it's fine. Like, it's all going to work out. They're perfect. And, they've ended, and we've both been like, well.
It's so, so hard. Like, I think I was listening to a podcast, and a doctor said that, when you're in love, it's like chemicals in your brain. So it's hard to see these facts or these opinions of your friends, and that's not going to be a stronger opinion or feeling in your own mind because, you're infatuated with this person, you're in love. You can't see anything wrong with them. Think about...
They're perfect.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they want
no one should be in love, honestly.
Honestly, we should all be single for the rest of our lives.
So I've got some icks that have been sent in.
Ooh,
and I'm going to read them out to you. And I want you to tell me if you would get the ick from this situation. Ick number 1. If a man is high maintenance, walking into the bathroom and seeing a 7-step skincare routine would give me the ick. I like my men looking like they've been dragged through a bush backwards or just come off the battlefield.
I don't think it's an ick to have a good skincare routine.
No.
I think it's like quite the opposite. I get that like everybody has different degrees of skincare. Mine's fairly basic. In terms of what some people's are. I think it would give me the ick if I walked into a man's bathroom.
3-in-1 shampoo.
You stole the words out of my mouth.
I knew what you were going to say. If they get pick and mix at the cinema.
The thing that gives me the ick is buying it at the cinema. Who has that money? Who has that money?
Performative tattoos / tattoos without meaning. I'm thinking a rose, a clock, a wolf.
The lion. Yeah.
I was chatting to a guy at a festival. It was going well until he asked me, so, show me your best dance move.
Do you know what the dance move was?
I don't know. I mean, if someone asked me that, I think I just laugh and...
Start dancing. Starts working.
But then it's just awkward because you feel like your dancing is going to be perceived. Would you get the ick if he asked you this?
I'd get incredibly nervous and insecure because I'm being watched dancing, I wouldn't know what to do. What's that?
The Homo Hotline.
She's back. Time for another listener.
Hey, I'm Josh and I use he, him pronouns. And how exciting to be this week's caller on Queer the Roster. Thank you for having me. So my story is one night on my way to hang out with a guy that I'd been seeing. And quick context is we'd been on and off, but it was very much a new thing. So we were tight for time that evening and agreed to have dinner, or so I thought, before we met so that we could just spend some time together. So I get to this man's house and he's sat down on his sofa watching some reality rubbish on the TV in the most oversized, lazy clothes I've ever seen, drinking a fruit cider. And to add a cherry on the cake, he was like half in the process of making his dinner. And yeah, I was just like, right, I get it was his house, but he'd not made an effort. He'd not even made the time to hang out with me. And it was just not giving. So yeah, I thought it was a pretty big red flag, kind of an ick, and I didn't see him again.
Oof, yeah, similar to your story.
I think that's so valid. That is so valid. Like, someone's coming over and you're not dressed, which, like, fair enough, you want to be in comfies at home. Sort of get that. But
it's a second date.
Second date, you're in your comfies, you're midway through dinner. Fair enough if you're cooking it for the both of them. but I got the impression that wasn't the case. Yeah, no, not for me.
You want to be making effort, you know. Lazy love is so common. And if you're being lazy within the first month of getting to know someone, it is a red flag.
Yeah.
If people aren't putting effort in for you, you want to feel special, you want to feel adored. Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Josh, for calling in. That was amazing. Now, it's the point of the episode where we have a few queries. We've had some sent in this week. Emily, would you like to read them out?
So my first one is, what is the difference between butch and mask?
Ooh, I feel like that's more of a you question to answer.
I think butch has derogatory meaning historically. Men would use it to be derogatory towards mask lesbians, whereas mask is just how you describe someone that's maybe masculine. I think lesbians take pride in going by the word
like
butch.
mask and femme.
Yeah.
Or by the word butch. Like it's been reclaimed.
It has been reclaimed,
Yeah.
but that's the main difference, I'd say. I think you can describe mask as someone who isn't necessarily a lesbian, but they are masculine presenting.
Yes.
But butch is specifically for a masculine presenting lesbian.
Okay, interesting. Thank you for that query, whoever sent that in. I've got one. What do you do if both of you are bottoms?
Oh, bump purses.
Bump purses. Now, this person didn't specify any sort of gender or anything, and obviously with tops and bottoms, they can blend between anything, whatever meaning they are. I think in that situation, you're still thinking in a very like sex works in one way, which is penis in something, or, you know, dominant, submissive, however you want to use the words top and bottom. And I think with that kind of mindset, you're very much limiting yourself to the kind of exploration and fun that you can have with people. And it's not the most ideal situation because, you know, if you prefer one thing and someone else prefers the same thing and, you know, it's a little bit who does what, it's a little bit awkward. But I think there are many ways to work around it. And I think the mindset that, you know, sex and enjoyment and fun can be so many different languages and so many different experiences.
Well, that brings us to the end of our second episode,
Oh
Max.
no, how sad.
We'd like to thank everyone for joining us once again.
If you are joining us for the first time, thank you for being here. We hope you've enjoyed. Please send in any of your dating stories or queries to be featured on next week's episode. You never know, it could be you on the Homo Hotline.
Make sure to join us next week where we'll be talking about male body image featuring our very first guest.
Our first guest on Queer the Roster. It's one you don't want to miss.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Max, and we have been your hosts of Queer the Roster.
Any red flags, steer clear.
And remember to stay queer. Bye-bye.